Okay, hello everybody. Today, let me just grab my drink here and take a sip. So today, we are going to be reviewing, well, the first review of today is going to be DC's League of Super Pets, uh, which I actually really did enjoy, and it was a very cool thing to kind of learn uh, which which pet belonged to which person. Now, I did look it up before the movie, so I kind of had an idea of like what pets were going to be going to who. But there was a few people in this movie that it really threw me off, and I was like, "Oh my God, what kind of pets are they going to have?" Because I was honestly expecting Cyborg to have the squirrel, but it turns out that Green Lantern actually ended up having the squirrel. And in this movie, it wasn't the typical, um, like it wasn't the Green Lantern that we all know, Hal Jordan. It was actually the female Green Lantern, who I guess is also part of the Justice League, who I did not know, and her name is. Oh, I had it pulled up here. Um, so her name is Jessica Cruz, and apparently she's in DC, like a pretty relevant character in DC Comics. And she is a member of the Justice League. So I guess they just brought her into this movie instead of having the regular Hal Jordan that we know and that we know better from the comics, I suppose. Because I guess she would have been a member of the Green Lantern before he was even introduced, right? Sort of thing. So yeah, I guess that was kind of a twist. I knew there was a female Green Lantern probably like in the DC multiverse, but I just never really um, knew her name or anything. So yeah, kind of interesting that they threw her into this movie instead of Hal Jordan. But hey, it is what it is, and yeah, I mean, it wasn't really like the movie was necessarily about um, the superheroes themselves as it was more opposed to the pets, right? So yeah, we're kind of learning more about the pets as we go along than anything else. So Kevin Hart, who played Ace, was, I guess, um, most of the pets were living in a shelter for most of this movie. And then when Lulu, the guinea pig, brings to light that she's been working on this weapon or whatever with Lex Luthor, and then she ends up being taken away from them or from Lex um, by Superman and Crypto, Superman's dog, uh, which she didn't even want to have happen. She's trying to create the same, or she's trying to work on the same project as Lex Luthor. But I guess the orange kryptonite, I believe, was it orange or red kryptonite? Oh God, I can't remember. So green kryptonite obviously takes away Superman's powers, and I think it was actually orange kryptonite that gives animals the abilities to have power, but it doesn't give the abilities to humans. So I'm not really sure what type of kryptonite would be able to give humans powers. Although we did see in the new Batman movie that possibly that wasn't kryptonite, was it? That was Bane's stuff that he uses to juice himself up. So that wouldn't make any sense, would it? That was my best guess, or possibly a refined type of kryptonite, I suppose, would maybe give people powers. And maybe that's what Batman used. I'm not sure. It was one of those two. But I'm thinking that there's got to be some sort of kryptonite out there that is able to give people powers. But Lex just hasn't discovered it yet. And when he does, that's going to be quite frightening, actually, for the rest of the heroes, right? So in this movie, we had, besides Superman, we had Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and the Flash. And I think that was it, right? Because the Flash had the turtle, which I looked up beforehand. Batman ended up with Ace. Uh, Green Lantern ended up with the squirrel, which had electrical abilities, so I thought that was kind of a mismatched pair, but she ends up giving him a ring, so in the end, I guess it kind of made sense. Uh, oh yeah, Wonder Woman's pet was the pig. Um, and oh, I'm trying to think. Aquaman ended up with one of the guinea pigs that Lulu had turned, and I think Cyborg ended up with one of the guinea pigs as well. I think he was the fire guinea pig that he ended up with. So there was a couple mismatched pets, I suppose, in this movie. And obviously we know that Superman had Crypto, right? So Superman had Crypto, Batman had Ace, Flash had the turtle, Wonder Woman had the pig, Green Lantern had the squirrel, Aquaman had the water guinea pig, and Cyborg had the fire guinea pig, right? I think I'm mentioning everybody there. I hope I am anyway. So this movie starts off with Crypto obviously being best friends with Superman, and I guess in the beginning of the story it shows obviously Superman leaving his planet of Krypton, but in this case the dog actually comes with him in the very beginning of the movie. And I don't think it's ever been told like that before, so the dog was actually protecting Superman throughout his entire life. And then when Superman falls in love with Lois Lane, he kind of creates a divide between him and Crypto, but in the end, they end up becoming best friends again anyway, because nothing could really take away their kind of inseparable bond. And he actually does learn quite a bit about the other pets throughout this movie. So the turtle, whose name was... So PB was the pig, Merton was the turtle, Chip was the squirrel. What other pets were there? So Keith and Mark were the two guinea pigs. So the ice guinea pig and the fire guinea pig. And then obviously we had Lulu, who was Lex Luthor's pet, right? So PB was the pig, right? Yeah, Merton the turtle, Chip was the squirrel. And then the two guinea pigs that really mattered were Keith and Mark. Okay, so yeah, interesting. I'm trying to remember who Jor-El was and who Lara was. I can't quite remember. Oh, maybe Lara was his assistant. I'm trying to remember. And then I'm trying to remember who played the cat or the kitten or whatever that was kind of going nuts there in the movie. Yeah, so there was a lot of I would say there was a lot of adult jokes in this, like even the turtle being able to say like I can't see shit, or like I don't know where the fuck I am. Like there was a couple lines in there that was just like, wow. Obviously they censored it out in the movie, and I think probably because kids were being brought to this movie, because when we were doing the matinee showtime for that movie before we went to see Nope that night. So yeah, it was kind of crazy that yeah, it seems this movie was kind of like one of those movies similar to Paws of Fury that did the adult jokes that obviously the adults would get and the kids would just kind of laugh at because they wouldn't really understand it. So it was, yeah, it was definitely a like a comical movie for sure, but it definitely had its serious moments as well. Like when Ace was talking about how he was taken, ended up being taken away from his family. Sorry, that was my laptop going off. Ended up being taken away from his family because actually he was trying to save the child from falling down the stairs, but he ended up biting the child, and the parents obviously decided that it was time to... They didn't see that part, so they decided it was time to just remove him from the family and put him in a shelter with all the other pets. And then when Lulu is able to, I guess, bring the kryptonite down to Earth after Superman and Crypto actually end up putting it back into orbit, she's able to give not only herself powers, but all of the other dogs powers. And this is after Crypto has lost his powers, so he has to bring in the other super pets in order to help him until he is able to finally regain his powers close to the end of the movie, and they're able to fight Lulu and defeat her. So yeah, it was very interesting actually to see Keanu Reeves voice the Batman, and I believe he is... I've heard rumors online that he might actually be interested in doing a live action Batman, which would be cool because Obviously, we know him from The Matrix, and now that he's doing the John Wick series, like, I just think he would be a really great fit for an actual Batman. And I think what they're trying to kind of do is maybe bring in all of the Batmans from the different Batman movies at some point to do like the whole like the DC multiverse thing, kind of like what they're doing with Marvel, because DC has its own multiverse as well. So it would be interesting to see all the Batmans in one movie, because I thought so far I haven't really been disappointed by a Batman movie. Like every every actor that's done the Batman has kind of knocked it out of the park, but I am honestly, in my opinion, the newest Batman movie was my favorite out of all the Batman movies I've seen. I just thought like Robert Pattinson did a fantastic job of stepping into the shoes of the Batman and really just like did a top tier job of that role and the kind of darker side that they're definitely going for now. This was, I would say, this movie was even darker than the Dark Knight series. Um, so yeah, I really did enjoy those movies. And what else can I say about Super Pets? Because now I'm just kind of going on another ramble. But hmm. Obviously the animation was just out of this world, and I think probably The Rock did have a lot of say of what kind of jokes went into this movie, because I feel like he likes to kind of he's always seems to be like a jokester, like he's always trying to get in one joke or two jokes or whatever. And yeah, I feel like probably some of the humor was definitely The Rock's type of humor for sure. Uh, I'm trying to think because Lulu does transform at the end of the movie, and she almost becomes too powerful for even all the heroes and the pets. And then uh, Crypto has to do like his finishing move, and I can't remember. Oh, something. It's where he flies into the sun, and he has to like come back down and defeat her in one blow, but it could end up killing him, and Ace ends up protecting him in the end of the movie. And obviously, we kind of knew that was going to happen. And this did leave a very, this was a very open-ended movie, so I am looking forward to them doing a sequel to the movie because there is an end credit scene where Black Adam actually comes down with his dog, and they're talking to Crypto, and I believe they were just were they talking to both Crypto and Superman? I can't remember. I think it might have just been Crypto, and his dog is saying that they're not villains, but they're not heroes; they're anti-heroes. So, and then he's kind of trying to describe to him what they do, and Crypto goes, "Isn't that just a villain?" And then they get into a discussion, and he goes, "Oh, Black Adam can't fly to the moon." And he goes, "Really? You want to see him fly to the moon?" And just grabs him and takes him away and flies him to the moon. So I think that might have been partially a promo for the Black Adam movie, which is coming out in October. But I also think that obviously, probably Superman and Black Adam might end up teaming up in the second movie for Super Pets, or Black Adam might be the guy he ends up fighting in the second movie. It's kind of interesting to see what might actually end up happening. And it was really cool to see the pets from the shelter obviously kind of like come into their powers and learn to control them, sort of thing. Uh, like PB's power was obviously the power to either shrink down or like get bigger. I think that was basically her. Obviously, they all had like the power of super strength, right? But yeah, they all had like their own special ability. And then obviously the electricity with Chip, and the speed with the turtle. And yeah, that scene was really cool where she was just able to move fast enough, faster than all of them, when the one kitten was attacking them all. And oh my god, some of the lines that were delivered in this movie, like "I'm gonna rip you limb from limb" and like stuff like that. And then the throw to the Nightmare on Elm Street series where the cat's going 1, 2, da 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 da, like whatever she said there. And I was waiting for more because yeah, it was just absolutely hilarious. And then they end up trapping her in like a big garbage bin with the one grenade that she, like the hairball grenade that she throws up, And she goes, I have 8 more lives. So I'm expecting her to return in the movie because, yeah, she had the tail that was able to shoot rockets and like the Gatling gun type thing. And then she was able to like hairball grenades. So she had some pretty incredible powers as well. I just wish I could remember her actual name in the movie. So I'll actually go over the casting list of who voiced who. So Dwayne Johnson voiced Crypto, Kevin Hart voiced Ace, and they kind of I know they're already friends, but it was kind of interesting to watch them kind of become friends because they came from very different lifestyles in the movie. And Crypto was actually the one that put him in the shelter in the beginning of the movie. So for them to become friends throughout the movie was very interesting. Kate McKinnon played Lulu. John Krasinski was Superman. Vanessa Bayer was PB. Natasha Loyne, I believe, was Merton. Diego Luna was Chip. Mark Maron was Lex Luthor. Keanu Reeves was Batman. Tom Middleditch was Keith, or AKA Ice Guinea Pig. I guess he was ice, not water. Okay. Ben Schwartz was Mark, aka Fire Guinea Pig. Olivia Wilde was Lois Lane. I'm trying to think. Jamil Jam Jamela Jamil was Wonder Woman. Jermaine Clement was Aquaman. John Early was the Flash. Dashka Polonka was Green Lantern. I'm hoping pronouncing that right. Oh my god. And Daveed Diggs was Cyborg. And that's really, I think the main characters anyway. All the rest of them was kind of like secondary. But then Luna does get saved at the end of the movie after she gets defeated by Lex Luthor's like assistant because I guess she wants to take out Lex Luthor herself. So yeah, kind of interesting to see where that storyline is going to go as well. But I did give this movie a 9 out of 10, so same rating as I gave Paws of Fury. So both like animation, I feel like is kind of going in a different direction these days. Like I mean, the animation just seems to be getting better and better as the years go on. Obviously, because of, I mean, like programming and just how fast we're developing with that type of stuff, like computer graphics and things. I mean, some movies obviously stand the test of time, like say Toy Story or Finding Nemo or certain things. Like I feel like just because they get like slightly remastered every so often, that they still are like really well animated films. But yeah, I think this one was like a superb job in the animation. And yeah, I don't think I can say much more about the movie. I think I've gone pretty much over the story and the parts I liked and the parts I don't think there was really any bad parts in this movie actually. Like it was kind of enjoyable through and through. And even the funny parts where Crypto's thinking about like throwing Lois Lane away and he's getting upset with Superman, and then he ends up reconnecting with him at the end of the movie, obviously, because Superman knows that there's no real bond that could. There's nobody else that could break the bond between him and his pet, right? So, uh, even though he loves Lois Lane, obviously Crypto will always be his best friend, sort of thing. So, yeah, that was kind of cool to see them reconnect at the end of the movie. And one other funny thing I wanted to touch on was the uh, Squeaky Bruce that Superman always threw to Crypto, and then Ace gets one that's a Superman toy at the end of the movie, and Crypto goes, "That's just wrong," which was funny because he'd been using the Batman one all throughout the movie, and obviously the movie in the trailer where you see Batman goes, "That better be a licensed toy, or I will totally freak out," was actually in the movie, which I see a lot where the stuff in the trailer isn't actually ever in the movie. So yeah, kudos to them for doing that, and I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, 9 out of 10 for this movie. Uh, hopefully it's still in. Hopefully it stays in theaters long enough when this review comes out. If not, hopefully it's on the streaming service by the time this review comes out. But I highly recommend going to see it if you stuck around this long through the video. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next review. So bye bye for now.